Hello. Today we're going to look at solving equations, and we do this with the four operations: addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. Let's look at number 1. We have x plus 6 equals a negative 6. When we're solving for these, we want to get the x alone. We want to isolate the x because we want our answer to be in the form of x equals our answer. In order to isolate the x, we need to get rid of the plus 6. So we're doing the opposite. If this is a plus 6 or an adding 6, we're going to subtract 6. Well, whatever we do on the left side of the equation, we must do on the right side. So we will have a minus 6. A positive 6, negative 6 cancel out, and so this just equals x equals negative 6 minus 6. This is a subtraction, so I like to think of those as keep, change, change. So I'll keep my negative 6, I'll change this, and as it's sitting here, this is a positive 6, so I'm going to make it a negative 6. Then I'm going to bring down my x equals a negative 6 plus a negative 6 gives me a negative 12. Then I can look at my original equation and check it. So if I have negative 12 plus 6, that should equal negative 6. So negative 12, I got a positive and a negative, so I'm going to find the difference. The difference between 12 and 6 is 6. Since the larger number has the sign, the negative stays. It will be a negative 6. Yeah, that is correct. The second one is involving subtraction. And again, we want to isolate our x. It doesn't matter if the x is on this side or if it's on this side. 2 times 3 equals 6, or 6 equals 2 times 3. It means the same, so you can switch it if you want. I'm not going to. So I want to isolate my x. I want my answer to say x equals an answer. So in order to do that, I want to isolate it. I want to get it by itself. In order to do that, I have to do the opposite of subtracting a 20. Well, the opposite of that is adding a 20. Negative 20, positive 20 cancel out, and so it's x minus 0, or x. And then I bring that 20 over here. So I have 20 plus 3. Well, that becomes 23. 23 equals x, or I can say x equals 23. The third one is a division. If you remember, this fractional line means division. So we do the opposite of division, which is multiplication. And so what we do is we are going to multiply by 7. Multiply by 7 over 1, however you want to look at it. Often in the videos, you're going to see it as W7 equals, and then times, you're going to see it like that, but this is really what we're doing. So let's cross those out. That becomes 1W, which is just W. If we multiply this side by 7, we have to multiply this side by 7, and so we come up with W equals 5 times 7, which is 35. We can put our answer in there. 35 divided by 7 does in fact give us 5. Let's look at number 4. This is a negative 5 times something equals 30. Well, we have multiplication, and so in order to undo that, we're going to do the opposite. So we're going to divide by 5. Negative 5. Negative 5 divided by negative 5 is 1, and so it's x. If I divide this side by 5, I have to divide this side by the same negative 5, and I find that I have 30 divided by 5, negative 5. 30 divided by negative 5 equals, well, it could be 6, but then if I multiply a positive times a negative, I should get a negative, and my 30 is a positive. So this has to be a negative, because a negative 6 times a negative 5 gives me a positive 30. So there's my final answer. I can go ahead and plug it in. I take this negative 6, so if I'm saying that x is negative 6, I have negative 5 times negative 6 does in fact give me a positive 30. The last one I want to look at is a two-step. And the two-step are a little trickier. When we follow the order of operations, parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, adding, subtracting, the multiplication, division come before adding, subtracting. But when we're undoing, we're unwrapping, we're doing the opposite, we're going to start at the bottom and work up. So we do have an addition or a subtraction. So we must do that first. Well, I'm looking at my plus 8, so I want to get rid of that. In order to do that, I have to undo, I have to do the opposite, which is subtract 8. If I have a positive 8, a negative 8, I have 0. So it's negative 6x plus 0 is just negative 6x. And then whatever we do to one side, we have to do to the other side. So this stays 2x minus 8. Now I've got an x over here and an x over here. Well, I want to bring them together, so I'm going to undo this side. The opposite of a negative 2x is a positive 2x. And over here, if I do this, a positive 2x, I must also have a positive 2x over here. 2x over 2x is like 2 over 2, means 1. I'll keep my negative 8. If I have negative 6x's and 2 positive x's, I subtract. 6 minus 2 is 4, and the larger number keeps the sign. So it's a negative 4x equals negative 8. Well, I still have a multiplication, so I need to undo by doing the opposite of multiplication, which is divide. So I'm going to divide both sides by a negative 4, divided by a negative 4. Negative 4 over negative 4 is x. Then I have 8 divided by a negative 4. That's going to give me a 2. And I want to check my work to make sure. So a positive times a negative will give me a negative. And so my final answer is x equals 2. Hope that helped.